you're back.
All right, you're recording, right? Yep, recording. It was a cold and snowy dark night as we waited and watched the snow fall out of the window of my grandpa's cabin. With a 3.5-hour drive into the snowy mountaintops of Steamboat, not too far away from Fort Collins, we watched and waited patiently for the snowfall to slow down. As I lay my head onto the soft pillow, I fall into a peaceful, deep sleep, wondering how much snowfall we'd have in the morning. "Wake up, Henry! Come take a peek out the window," my brother said. As I'm leaning over the bunk, he opens the blinds completely, with the bright sun beating down on the fresh snow. It was almost as if the snow acted like a mirror to reflect all the UV rays. Blinded from the light, trying to climb down the ladder of our bunk beds, rushing to the closet first to change into our snow gear, lacing on my boots, not yet ready for the cold morning air. Time to load up the trailer. "You're good, stop it right there," I said to my brother as the car rolled back perfectly into place for the hitch. Finally, with all our gear and backpacks loaded up into the car, we take off to go snowmobiling. With 3 people on each sled, plus the combined weight of our skis, not even adding the weight with all our packs, we head up straight the switchbacks. Reaching to the top of the first mountain, I look up at all the clouds, knowing that we were going to be the same elevation, if not higher, hoping and watching for the sun to warm up and break free from the clouds. Just as the sun started to creep out from the clouds, it was almost time to call it. We decided we were going to switch runs for the end of the day, so we could have a fresh tracks on the way out. Riding on the sled is my grandmother and I, with Andy on the front steering the sled. Doesn't know how fast he's even going, much less where he's even going. Looking over my shoulder, I see the speedometer shoot from 20 to 30 to 40 in less than 5 seconds. My conscience telling me he's going way too fast for the turn we were rapidly approaching. I'm leaning with all my weight to have the snowmobile trying to bank into the turn, yet we were heading straight off the road. Not even a second's time I knew. "The sled's gonna crash!" screaming at the top of my lungs. In the moment, I leaped from the sled, tucking my legs and elbows, preparing for a crash landing. With both hands on the helmet, barely holding it down onto my head, rolling 5 or 6 times, looking through my goggles felt like looking through the window of your car when it just had a fresh 2 inches of snow. I'm trying to get my bearings on the crash, looking down on myself, covered in snow as I'm wearing a white ghillie suit, pulse towing through each step, almost stumbling after each stride, still oblivious to what had just happened. Only being 13 years old at the time, I didn't have the strength to lift off the sled by myself. Luckily, my brother and father were on the sled right behind ours and saw the whole thing happen. It was a loose patch of snow from when one of the trees had fallen off the trail. With the heavy snowfall from the night before and the sunny warm weather later in the day, the snow top layer can melt, causing the lower layers of condensed snow pack to crumble. My brother Gavin runs to me with my dad right beside him, using all of our might to slowly tip the snowmobile back up, right side up. Looking down at her leg, the ski boot had got caught in the pulley system of the track, which twisted her boot, causing a spiral fracture, aka a pylon fracture. We needed to act in quick haste before she would go into shock, but even when the shock would hit, it wouldn't hold back the pain. We cut down a nearby branch, adding rope and bandanas around her ankle to stabilize her foot, trying to hold it completely still. With a 10-mile ride ahead of us back to the car, bumpy roads and snow mounds would make it a long and rough ride, with banked turns that made NASCAR 70-degree slope look like walking on a playground. Rushing her to the hospital, leaving us to load everything up as fast as we possibly could so we could check up on her at the hospital. I didn't realize at the time this would be a very good lesson. First, the best way to handle any stressful situation is to stay cool, calm, and collected. Second, always make sure you trust who is driving your 75-year-old grandma around. I sure won't let that happen again.